the Inflation Reduction Act were to be repealed, how do you see individuals being affected by this? I mean, there's been some talk about energy prices. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch. Energy prices are a big one. Because one issue we're having right now is that we're seeing a rapid increase in power demand growth, which there's been very, very slow growth over the past 20 years or so because we've had increased efficiency and just not a whole lot of increased demand for electricity. But now we're seeing all these data centers, artificial intelligence, electrification of vehicles and buildings. It's getting hotter, so more people need to use air conditioning. So there's suddenly a really rapid increase in electricity demand coming, um, potentially 10 times faster over the next decade than it has over the past two prior decades. And so, in order to meet that demand, we have to build a lot more power generation, like it's the supply to meet the demand. And to do that, it pretty much has to be clean electricity because the other
Mhm.
alternative is pretty much natural gas, and natural gas turbines are there's a really big backlog of orders right now. So just like physically, we can't deploy enough gas turbines to meet that increasing demand. So it has to be clean electricity, mostly solar and battery storage, and maybe some wind too. So if we are repealing these tax credits that make it more financially viable to deploy these new solar and battery and wind installations, then we're not going to be meeting that increased demand, which then means if we're not producing enough electricity to meet the increased demand, that means prices go up. And so that means everybody's electricity bills go up. There's been a bunch of studies estimating how much they would go up. It's somewhere in the ballpark of $100 per year per household in the next 5 to 10 years, in that ballpark for electricity. And then there's also vehicle fuel prices are going to go up for two reasons. Because if you're getting rid of the EV tax credits, then a lot fewer people are buying EVs. Estimates are like 20 to 40 million fewer EVs on American roads by the middle of the 2030s, which is a lot fewer EVs. And so, if you have fewer EVs, that means more people are still driving gasoline fueled cars, which means there's more demand for gasoline, which means gasoline prices go up. So, it's like sort of a hidden gasoline tax by repealing these tax credits, something in the ballpark of 10 cents per gallon gasoline increase, which is, it's not huge, but it's pretty significant. And then also with fewer people transitioning to EVs, that means that they're still, driving gasoline cars, which have much higher fuel costs than EVs do by about $1,000 per year. It costs a lot more to fuel a gasoline car on average than an average EV. So you add that up, and that's somewhere in the ballpark of like another $100+ per year